But Nico Harrison, the GM, said, you know what, Luka? You ain't got to go home. But you got to get the heck out of here.
He said it like that.
That's what he said.
Sent you to the West.
That's not what he said. That's what he did.
There is nothing better in sports than a revenge game. We will talk more about revenge games later. Multiple people at this desk have played revenge games. Shady McCoy is the facility, so break it down. Luka facing his former team on tonight. Is all the pressure on Luka Dončić?
You know what? Yes. Yes, it is. And it's external. It's internal, I'm sorry. It's internal.
Yep.
This whole thing is not about LeBron. If LeBron go out there and get 40 points, we not like, okay, good job, King. If Luka go get that 40, it's a statement.
Yep.
I need today to be all about Luka, right? You, first of all, I'm your franchise. When people go to the Mavs games, they're not coming to see nobody else.
True.
But Luka, we love Kyrie.
True.
Everybody got that 77 jersey for a reason. In the city, the kids, in school, everywhere. It's Luka, and you traded me? And the biggest point is, I can't make an extra $100 million because you got rid of me.
Woo.
And you blindsided me too, though. It ain't like you let me know what's going on. You didn't tell me. You just traded me. Yes, all the pressure's on Luka today. We in L.A., right? Yeah. And I don't know if you guys can see it all like setting up. Now, the last game, he had a great performance.
Yes, he
right?
did.
Smoked the Nuggets, right? He had a great game. And you come back home and you play the Mavs. And you tell me you Luka and they traded you, yeah, you got to get back. I don't know if it's maybe to me it's such a big thing because I've been there where a franchise player and the whole city, when you think about the Eagles, you think about LeSean McCoy. And then you traded me, right? And now you have some time to think about it. Luka's going to have a crazy game today. If you think that this dude be scoring and looking at you funny now, you're going to be like, all that. Get off me.
I love it. All the pressure is on Luka for my mind. You do not get a second chance at a first impression. Remember that in life. And Luka, this is your first impression to remind the Mavericks fans what they missing. This is your first impression to remind Nico what he lost. This is your first impression to remind the world that you are that dude. And I say remind, not tell, because we already knew. You just got to remind us of the thing that it appears Nico has forgotten. But Luka's ready for this. Because Luka always makes statements in statement games. Y'all remember Luka's first playoff game ever, he had 42-9-7. Luka's first game 7 ever, he had 46-14 and 17. Luka's first game 7 to lead himself to a Western Conference Finals against the Suns, he had as many points against the Suns in the first half as the Suns had as a team in totality. Luka's built for these moments, these first impression moments. So all the pressure's on Luka tonight, and I think Luka ready for all that pressure.
You guys are talking about like it's game 7 of the NBA Finals.
For Luka?
It's not, though. Bro, this is the 4th or 5th game together with the Lakers, right? And he has, last time I checked, so first of all, no, not all the pressure's on him. Second of all, he has LeBron. He has Austin Reeves. And the Mavs don't have AD. So the Mavs aren't even playing their best defender. So if AD's out, why is all the pressure on Luka to go out there and show him? If they win this and they blow out, they're supposed to blow him out.
Yeah.
And they will because they don't have AD. So for me, it's not one of those things. Like, even as a Mavs fan, like, I grew up in Dallas. And when I saw Dallas trade, especially, I wasn't like as crazy mad as you were, but when I saw Dallas trade Luka, especially to the Lakers, I was pissed off. And when I saw what happened, man, Luka goes to a better team. He's got a better supporting cast. He's got a better coach. He doesn't have to have all that pressure. He had all the pressure in Dallas because he was the guy that could take over games. Now, when you go to L.A., you don't need all that pressure around you. You got LeBron, you got Reeves, J.J. Redick, I think, is the top 10 head coach in the NBA. So when you're talking about all this, like, no. And we talk about who wins the trade and who won the even if they lose this game, it's way too early to tell if they won the trade. Does Luka want to play well? Yeah. Does Luka want to have that killer mindset? Yeah. But I don't think the pressure's on him.
You just don't get it. The question is all the pressure on Luka tonight? Why are we asking that question, Chase? Why do you think that is? It's not the playoffs.
They traded him.
And you about to play the team that traded you.
I don't think the pressure's on him, though.
Let me just, and respectfully, you guys, right, because y'all my teammates.
Yeah.
But I do got to just sound off on this thing a little bit.
Sound off!
Come on, Shady.
When you the franchise player and you trade me, it's not a regular trade, Chase Daniel. It's not just a regular guy that's getting traded. This is a top 5 player in the league. This is the type of dude where every season with the Eagles, I would dare, like, pack my clothes at the end of the season. No. I'll be back later. Yeah, I'll get that later. Shady, no, just leave all that stuff there. If it's Luka, what you think he's doing? He's leaving cars, there's everything there. Because he knows he's going to be back. This is his city. This is my team.
Correct.
When we want to trade for players, they don't just talk to regular players. They talk to Luka.
Yeah.
And then you trade me. I'm one person you trade? And you told us this ain't a pressure game? Today, his mama, his dad, they want to see a big game.
Yep.
The whole day going to be different for him.
Sure, maybe internally he feels that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Externally, there's no pressure.
It is pressure, though.
Nope.
Everybody in that locker room wants him to do great.
Correct.
Yeah. So they're going to help him out, so he doesn't have to do it by himself.
He don't get it.
So
he ain't gonna get it.
So I was walking up here, and I was thinking about this because I've been in some revenge games too.
Yep.
Got cut by the Raiders. Got a chance to come back and play the Raiders. Went to work on the Raiders. But when I got cut by the Raiders, I felt like they said, you can't play no more. That's why they cut me. You can't run no more. You can't play no more. So I'm like, oh, they disrespected me. They don't think I could play no more. That's not necessarily the case for Luka. Mm-hmm. But as I was walking up here, I'm like, this is a revenge game for different reasons, though. Because they didn't cut you because they saying you can't score the basketball. They cut you because they say you out of shape and you can't play no defense. Mm-hmm. So my mindset walking into this game, if I'm Luka, you ain't finna see no effort and no defense like you see me play tonight.
Come on now.
And that's going to be my... If Luka go out here and he score 15 points, we are not coming up to here tomorrow and going to say, can Luka score the basketball? That's not going to be a topic. We know Luka can score. But if he does go out here and make a statement on this defensive end, and we see him on this defensive end, not switching stuff, fighting over screens, playing... We are going to be like, did Luka come out here and let the Mavs know y'all said I couldn't do this? Because even his Mavs teammates, a lot of them was saying that. They better defensively when he's off the court. So I think it is a revenge game when you talk about that because Luka is going to come out here tonight, and I think he's going to play with energy. I think he's going to play with effort, especially on that side of the ball. We know he can score it. The Mavs did not trade him because they didn't think he could play anymore. Yep. The Mavs traded him because they say, we getting Anthony Davis, we better on this side of the court without Luka. So, for me, I think Luka going to make a statement tonight. I think it is a revenge game. It's a pride thing, too.
Pride thing, dog.
It is a pride thing. You do not want to get traded, cut, whatever, and somebody saying, we don't think you're good enough for our squad. Yeah. Okay, I got you.
And he's top 3 in the league.
When you talk about pressure, Shady, like what kind of pressure? Internal, external? Like, internal. Is it pressure to just win the game? Is it pressure to go out and just show out and even lose? Is it pressure? Because it's one game, right? It's regular season. It's not postseason. What kind of pressure? Because I want to try to understand this.
What do you mean?
Is it just to win one game?
What do you mean it's one? I don't know what you mean. It's one game.
It's regular season.
It's not just one game.
Okay.
When I played for the Bills and we lost to the Eagles, I didn't talk to my teammates for a whole week. Yeah. I was pissed off because y'all didn't take it serious like I took it serious. Yep. You speaking on it just like a regular game, it's not. Chase, this dude's one of the best players in basketball. Okay. He's going down in history. He's one of the greatest. And you trade me in my prime. This dude ain't even 26 yet, 27 yet. Yeah. And you trade me, and now we go. If Luka wins this game, and he has 13 points, whatever, and hold on, if they have 13 points and he wins the game, you think he's cool with that?
No.
He want to make a statement that, yo, the dudes that you got in this locker room in the Mavs, I used to do y'all crazy dirty in practice.
Don't you think
the GMs, the owners, y'all know who I am. And for y'all to trade me and I come back and get a chance to make it right and rewrite the books, I'm going to do that.
Don't you
You're going to see a different answer from Luka. He's going to be playing defense. He's going to be hustling. He's going for 40 points.
At least.
At least.
Don't you think the statement, though, is in NBA, there's 82 games, correct?
Right.
In the NFL, there's 17. So when you lose that game, there's no other way.
Chase, let's say, let me help you work.
One Dallas Mavericks.
Chase,
but don't you think the pressure is him to get to a championship?
There's a million NBA players that played this game. There's only a certain guys you say one words like Luka, like MJ, Bron, Kobe. These dudes are greats. You think if freaking Kobe Bryant got traded from the Lakers, he gonna try to kill them when he played them?
Remember, we've seen this before.
Man, acting crazy.
We saw Shaq play Kobe on Christmas Day. The first game is what it does for me. If this was the fourth time Luka was playing the Mavericks, we'd be like, oh, okay, cool.
First time.
It's the first time. Y'all remember when Russ played KD? The first time. The cupcake billboards in the stadium. Like, it's the fact that it's the first one that makes this one so unique. Not only is it Luka, like Shady said, not only are you playing against the team that traded you, not only are you first team All-NBA 5 times, but it is the first time. It's your first impression to remind them boys of who you are.
Not only that, though, like, we all played this game. That's the blessing about the facility.
Right.
Yep. If it's one thing that I truly know about athletes that we truly care about, is respect.
No doubt.
And respect from your peers and respect from the people around you. That is what we care about. Beyond the dollar and all that, respect. You disrespected me, man.
Facts.
I wasn't in on the conversations. You did this on your own, and you sent me off, and I'm in my prime and the top player in the world, and you disrespected me. I got something for you. I got
That part. That's it.
And watch
That's
what's
it.
going to happen tonight.
What if
right?
he
You want to
lays an egg?
disrespect me? I'm finna disrespect you. And that's what this is.
The reason why, because the game is so big. Like,
Luka
Because y'all are talking about he needs 40, he needs
Luka
30.
shows up in the big moments.
that's how you're gonna see from the tip off. So when you shoot that first shot, it's gonna be a different attitude.
Yeah, and not only that, you brought up a good point, your teammates. Because I remember when I went back to the Raiders, Aaron was like, I got you.
See what I'm saying? Right.
You know what I'm saying? And even after the game, when I'm dapping the dudes up on the Raiders, Marcel Reese, they was like, you was on a mission today.
Yep. You already know it. But hold on, real quick. And then the
You
team,
already know what's going to happen.
yo, but then the other team,
Yeah.
you think the Mavericks don't know how Luka gonna act?
Oh, what, bruh, he got the belt
He
out.
pissed off.
They saw Luka get the belt out.
When you get traded, especially when you're a primetime player, like I'm talking about a franchise guy, Chase. Like when we think about how we want to set our offense up, our coaches we want to bring in here, we got to get somebody how he's gonna fit to Luka, right? And now when you trade that type of piece, it's like, yo, you lose a part of you. I ain't gonna lie. When I left Philadelphia, I'm like, how?
Correct.
And then for who?
Correct.
And you lose a part of you. So when you talk about going back and getting redemption, he gonna be a whole other person today. I'm telling you.
We will talk about.
And if you gambling bet on him, I'm betting on him.
the line, the lines.
I don't care what the line is.
The line's not good, bro.
Man.
31 and a half.
He gonna get 40.
So the question coming to you, quarterback, is this. Do the Cowboys need to start to think about the future? Cooper Rush, backup quarterback perennially. He is a free agent. Do the Cowboys need to go ahead and draft Dak's replacement?
No, there's no one in this draft that they can find that's going to replace Dak. That's better in 5-6 years. Even Shador, even Cam Ward. Look, we talk about Dak sometimes in a bad light, like he's not a top 10 quarterback. Look, I understand the struggles he's had in the playoffs, but when you look at this draft class, like the top two are Shador Sanders and Cam Ward. And the Cowboys don't have enough ammo for that. And we talk about drafting a quarterback for the Cowboys. You just lost your all-pro guard, Zach Martin. Yeah. You're worried about the quarterback position? A guy in Dak Prescott, when healthy, who finished second in MVP voting 2 years ago. Yes, struggled in the playoff game, got embarrassed against the Green Bay Packers. Not a great playoff record. But there's so many other holes to fill in your team. And, like, this class of guys, like, I would imagine they're going to draft a guy in the middle rounds, like a Will Howard or a Dylan Gabriel or Callum McCord, that can develop under Dak, but then he helps them mold their franchise. And when I talk about that, I mean, like, the middle draft guys, they're not going to be started. Now, Dak was a fourth-round pick, and he played right away as a rookie. There's no one like Dak was out of Mississippi State in this class.
How do you say that with confidence, Chase?
Right. Because I've seen
you can't say that with confidence.
I just did. I just said
Dak
it
was a
with
fourth-round pick.
Right. But I'm telling you, with the second Dak stepped on the field as a Dallas Cowboy in the game against Seattle in preseason, if you remember that, when Tony Romo got hurt, you were like, man, this guy's got it.
He's got it. We don't know what it is, but he got it.
I'm telling you, by the time the Dallas Cowboys get to draft a quarterback, you're not going to – it's a perennial backup. You're going to have a guy under a salary and then able to – why do you look like that?
I vehemently disagree with you for two reasons.
Okay.
Let's look at the NFC East alone. When the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts, he was not supposed to replace Carson Wentz.
No, he wasn't.
He was not. He was a second-round pick who was a gadget guy. If y'all remember, Jalen Hurts' first 2 games, he was inactive. His third game, I'm taking y'all all the way back. His third game, he got snaps at wide receiver. Those were his plays. By his fourth game, he was finally active, got a couple snaps in at quarterback. Finally, by week 13, Jalen Hurts made his debut against the New Orleans Saints. And before you know it, 2 years later, he's in the Super Bowl. 5 years later, he's won a Super Bowl as a Super Bowl MVP. Jalen Hurts was not drafted to be Carson Wentz's replacement, but he did it. Dak Prescott was not drafted. I was there in 2016 working for the Cowboys, mind you, when he got drafted. Dak wasn't drafted to be Romo's replacement. Like Chase has alluded to, and he said it very wisely, Dak was drafted in the 4th round. We thought Romo was going to be okay off that back injury. Yeah. He wasn't. Dak ends up playing well. Cowboys, to Chase's credit, Cowboys had a much more complete roster, much more complete roster. Dak didn't have to do a ton. He had 23 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He got an MVP vote, again, taking y'all back to 2016. I do think you got to draft Dak's replacement because Jalen Hurts, NFC quarterback, Dak Prescott, NFC quarterback, they were never drafted to be the replacements, but they became the replacements. Dak got a hamstring injury that is unforeseen and unknown. We don't know how bad it is because he completely ripped it off the bone. That doesn't happen often. 2 years prior, Dak Prescott broke his thumb. The year before that, Dak Prescott had a calf injury. The year before that, Dak Prescott broke his leg. Why do we know the name Cooper Rush? Because Dak always gets hurt. With all due respect or with all due disrespect to the facts of the situation. So you got to prepare a replacement because the QB getting hurt. A hamstring that's off the bone, a thumb on your throwing finger, a calf as a quarterback you got to push off of it. Chase taught me that. And then you broke your leg. These aren't those small little boo-boo to fool injuries. Yeah. These legit injuries. So to me, Chase, that's why I'm looking at you like that because you have to draft his replacement. Because relationships start how relationships end. Relationships end how relationships begin. Dak's relationship began with the Cowboys being drafted, not necessarily as a replacement, but he was. I mean, and I think that's how it
is. There's bigger holes around me.
I agree with that.
If you go into this draft, and I'll let you guys go, it's the last thought. If you go into this draft as Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones and Will McClay, who is helping them run the whole draft pretty much. He's like the draft guru. If you go into this draft and you say, I am going to find Dak Prescott's replacement. Dak is going into year 9, okay? Injury history or not, he's going to be he's making $60 million a year. If you go in and you waste, say, a third-round pick on maybe Kyle McCord, I think Kyle McCord, actually from Syracuse, the old Ohio State quarterback, and he doesn't pan out, you know how many, good defensive tackles or offensive tackles or receivers or skill positions or so many or running back that they need? You do not need Dak's replacement right now. You need other pieces in their scheme to make them better. And by drafting Dak's replacement, it's going to be a wasted draft pick because these guys, in my opinion, they don't have it.
But wouldn't you suggest 2-5 and James? Again, it's hard for me to agree with Chase after seeing what the Eagles did with Jalen. When the Eagles drafted Jalen, I was thinking to myself, what in God's name are y'all doing? Carson Wentz is the only quarterback in the history of football to have 4,000 yards passing with no 500-yard wide receiver. Wow. Carson Wentz done kept this team afloat when this team had nothing.
No doubt.
Team had no receivers. Shout out to Greg Ward, a former Houston quarterback, was leading the Eagles at receiver in the 2018 season. Team had nothing outside of Zach Ertz. And they drafted Jalen Hurts with a second-round pick.
He was coming off an injury.
I'm thinking to myself, this is asinine.
Carson Wentz is coming off that ACL?
17.
Yes.
He got hurt.
ACL.
So I'm thinking to myself, yo, this makes no sense. Yeah. But it turned out to be the wisest thing you could suggest the Eagles have done in the last 5 years.
Yeah. Smartest thing the Dallas Cowboys has done for the franchise. You guys are speaking the same language. You're not drafting a replacement, but you protecting the franchise. The most important position on a football team is the backup quarterback. Yeah. The Eagles' backup quarterbacks came in and won football games, right? The Packers' backup quarterback came in and won football games. Drafting somebody replacements, that's Patty Mahomes, all right? Alex Smith, Patty's here, all right? Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, we don't know how long he's going to play, but this kid's in the first round. Eventually, he's going in that football game. That's a replacement. Dak Prescott, like you said, wasn't a replacement. Jalen Hurts wasn't a replacement. But when you have an injury-prone quarterback in front of you, you want to protect the franchise and have a guy that can come in and play good football. And surprise, surprise, he could come in and be better than your starter, and you end up in the dang Super Bowl twice with a Super Bowl win and a Super Bowl MVP, right? Dak Prescott came in, he wasn't a replacement, but he came in and played well. And you can say whatever you want, but the Dallas Cowboys been good for a long time. At least in the regular season, they've been relevant, 12-12-12, winning the division and all that with Dak Prescott because you drafted him in the 4th round. Please do something smart. I'm not saying Dak's going to get hurt again, but protect yourself. Get somebody better than Cooper Rush, and he can come in there, and he might be your franchise quarterback. You never know.
Correct. That's my thing. Is when Dak Prescott got drafted to the Cowboys, they didn't know he would be this.
No.
He got drafted in the 4th round. I don't even after the 3rd round. I turn the TV off of the draft picks, and Dak became a starting quarterback, right?
Yeah.
I mean, real with you.
Really good.
So let's talk about this. The issue I have with the Cowboys is we keep coming back to the same point. Should we do this for Dak? This Dak. He's the real issue here. They should have been drafted somebody. And you know what? And my mom always told me, man, LeSean, you go on places in life, which she was right. She said, when people show you who they are, believe it. When people show you their habits, they keep doing over and over and over again and think they're going to do something different. No, believe who they are. When I first meet you and you come off a certain way, I believe that. All Dak has done in the 9 years he's been with the Cowboys is give you 2 playoff wins. And we keep asking, is he the guy? And then he gives you that, right? And then you make him the highest paid quarterback of all time. Tell me how that makes sense.
It don't.
He don't win in the playoffs. He don't win in this big-time football. Because I don't care about the regular season. I see a lot of great players in the regular season. It matters about in the playoffs. That's why we give all the praise to the Patrick Mahomes and the Joshua, because they take their team to the playoffs and they play well. I can't say the same for Dak. So we asked me, should they draft his replacement? They should have been did that. The Cowboys will always be in a bad situation when number 4 is at the quarterback.
A bad playoff situation.
Yeah, because
No. They won't go far with him. You know why? Do you know why I keep saying that? Because I've watched it. I watched this team because you're going to talk about how the team has so many holes. That's what you're going to say, right?
No.
And you're right. No, you're right. They do have holes.
No.
I watched this team when they had the top tier rosters in football. 2 to 3 years, they had the best roster in football. And what did he give you?
Playoff.
He choked. He didn't just have a bad game. He lost the game for him.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to keep saying it's like I'm coming at Dak. I'm just saying when I watch football and I watch this team with all these great players, and when you lead the troops, and every time y'all get to a big game and big moment against a big team, you the one that chokes and you the one that why they lose.
Why do you have?
You ain't telling no lies.
Yeah,
I'm being honest.
But why do you have such a big problem with Dak? Because
I just told you why.
I'm talking. Because when you look at Dak and you say he only has 2 playoff wins, right? He's 2-5. That's pretty bad, right?
Ain't good.
They ain't good. It ain't good at all, right? And embarrassing losses at that. San Francisco, Green Bay. But then you go to Lamar Jackson. We don't talk about Lamar Jackson like that. Now, Dak has not won MVP, but Lamar Jackson's playoff record's 3-5. He's averaging less total yards a game. He's averaging less total touchdowns a game, and he's got more turnovers than Dak. But yet Dak gets all the hate. Why?
I don't think
Because in the playoffs, right? Because Lamar Jackson, we had this conversation at nauseum once Lamar lost in the playoffs, right? Lamar's only been to 1 AFC Championship game. Dak's been to none. He's been to a couple divisional games. So, like, all I'm saying, and I don't want this to turn into a Lamar Jackson conversation. All I'm saying is Dak's better than we give him credit for. Like, he has 1 less loss. Now, I get the regular. He has to get over the hump in the postseason. But with that, it's like we should be talking about Lamar Jackson like that.
So okay, that's a good point, right? Now, the conversation is about the Cowboys, but I guess we can go to Lamar, right? If you want to do, we go to Lamar, right?
Yeah.
Because we talk about the Cowboys, but we'll just change the pictures in the background and just put up Lamar.
See how good we are.
The reason why I'm big on that because in the NFL, it's hard to get rosters like this. Everybody says so much bad stuff about Jalen Hurts. He's not this, he's not that. But when he had a great team and a great roster, you know where he went, Chase Dan? You know where he went? To the Super Bowl. Every time his team is super great and Howard does a great job, and they talk about the running backs and the defense and all that and the wide receivers, give me that. And I'm going to take him to the Super Bowl. When they gave Dak the same thing, you know what he did? He lost them games. I never seen Lamar Jackson with them type of rosters that your boy Dak Prescott had. Have you guys?
This year.
9 All-Pros.
9 All-Pros?
Yeah, I mean, not like that, but this year's roster was pretty
9 All-Pros? No, we haven't seen that. So all I'm saying is, if you give me, even Brock Purdy, right? You would say that. You would say Dak's better than Brock Purdy, right? You would say that, right, Chase? Oh.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.